see a real profit breakdown and all the fees involved with making $100,000 in sales in 2 months with one Amazon product, that's what this video is for. Let's look into one of my products and break down exactly what these look like and show you the actual cost of selling a product on Amazon. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm on my computer right now. The date range is from February to now, which is April. This is for one product here. And you can see here the total sales is about $102,000, almost $103,000. And this is going to be with 2,300 units. The average sale price is about $45. A little bit of refunds here. And these are from promos. And this is like basically like discounts, subscribe and save discounts, things like that, coupons, things like that. And then here is the actual advertising breakdown. Okay, so I'm going to be actually showing you guys the way I look at these numbers and how I figure out if I'm healthy or not with these margins or not. Now, advertising costs about $15,000. So what is that, like 15%, right? A little bit over 15%. And the refund cost here's another thing that's interesting: Amazon fees and all the Amazon fees that are related. This is what people don't see, right? This is what people don't realize what's happening behind here. So total Amazon fees is $24,000. It's a lot of dinero right there. So the referral fee over here is about $14,000. And then here, referral fee, by the way, is just basically Amazon's flat fee for being able to sell on their platform. Okay. And generally it's about a 15% flat rate. And this is based off of whatever your sale price is. Then we have Amazon's pick and pack fee. This is where they charge you for actually shipping it to the customer, Prime, etc. For us, that is about $9,500. Okay. Then you got inbound transportation, all right? $1,000. This is just basically sending our inventory in, and they charge us kind of for that. Some storage fees right here. You can see storage fees. People complain about storage fees. All right. And this is the biggest misconception. People are like, oh, Amazon charges so much for storage fees. Bro, we paid $43 for storage fees. $43. Okay. It's because you guys have horrible turn rate. All right. You're not going through inventory quick enough. So your inventory is accumulating a lot over time. So because of that, you're getting charged a lot more, right? But we churn through inventory very quickly every 3 months, 2-3 months. And then some reimbursements here and there for, Amazon fucking up and whatnot. So you got that. Cost of goods is about $13,000. That's about $570 per unit landed. So our gross profit is about $40,000 out of $100,000 in sale. That's basically like a 40% profit margin right there. You could see here the actual margin right around 40%. ROI 307%. That means for every dollar I put in, I'm getting $4 back. But Kev, that doesn't make sense. How are you getting $4 back off of a 300% ROI? It's because you have to get your original funding back, your original investment back. So that's like three times net, but then you get the one back as well. So that's what I mean. Spend $1, get $4 back. Okay, so here's something that is really important. I learned this from my buddy Dom, who owns Raw Nutrition, and he broke down basically contribution margin, CM1, CM2, and CM3, which is different levels to this. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys CM1 and CM2. And this is basically, CM1 is just your gross profit margin. This is just like the cost of the goods and the shipping before anything else. So for us, we have our CM1 at 77%. So that means, after refunds and after the cost of goods and shipping, it comes out to a gross profit margin of 77%. Our actual gross, our actual cost of our goods is only 12%, right? A lot of sellers usually have like a 20%, 25%. But for this product, because we sell so much, we have a good relationship with the supplier. We have a really low cost, landed cost, which means about 12% of that is going into the actual sale, right? Or it's going into the cost of the product. Now, this also gives us a lot of room for any promotions and discounts as well. So if we want to bring down the price at all, we can afford to do that because of our cost of goods, which is really good. So we have about 9% that we put in there. So CM1 is just that. It's just your sale price minus the cost of goods. That's it. That's your gross profit margin. CM2 is going to be related to all of other fees and advertising and marketing costs as well, like that are direct marketing costs, not employees, not anything like that. It's just the actual things. So for CM2, we spend about a total of 23% for Amazon fees. Now, I typically tell people that Amazon fees are about 30%, and it very much can be 30% depending on the category you're in. For our category, because we're in a very small product, it's in the supplement niche as well, generally the Amazon fees are lower because the fulfillment is a lot lower. The cost to hold it is a lot lower as well. So we have just under a 24% cost for Amazon fees, which is amazing. It's very, very, very good. That's where we should be. Then we can go into advertising costs. So this is, you can see here, we have sponsored products right here, which is about 11%. Sponsored display, so those are like the video ads and stuff like that. Sponsored brand as well, totaling our advertising to be about 15%. Okay, that's a total advertising cost of sale, or tacos, 15%. We have been sitting steady on this for a while, and with new products coming in and wanting to be more aggressive in our current market, I suspect that we're going to shoot this up to 30%, and we have the room for it, to be honest. And our net profits can be still good. So this leaves our CM2 to be about 40%. Okay, now this is pretty much standard, and we don't have a ton of employees. So if you include software costs and VAs and stuff like that, it's only going to mark down a couple percent really. It's really incremental. So this is a pretty accurate number about how much profit just from this one product is. By the way, there's multiple products on this, so I'm not going to go through all of it, but this is just the power of how much one product does, which is pretty awesome. So I like to look at things in percentages now, so that way I can see whatever changes I want to make are in those incremental percentage changes. So let's say if I wanted to, I know that for example, I'm underutilizing advertising costs because we're at 15%. That's really low. So that tells me that I can spend another 5% or 10% on new product or current product on just ads to boost up sales and, add to the bottom line as well, because we can afford that, right? So that is an important tell. And before, I used to look at just all of these numbers and these metrics here, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm setting here, and it didn't show a clear picture until I started working with percentages here. So this is a good strategy that I've been working with when I'm looking at the finances, whether it's in my personal life or on any of my companies as well. So this is the real breakdown. This is realistic as well. Yes, you guys can get 40% net margins on a product. That is totally doable. To be able to achieve this, there's two things you want to make note of. All right. Number one is my CM1 is really high, right? So I have a 77% CM1, and that's gross profit. And that's basically where you want to be. You want to be right around there. If we include Amazon costs, okay, then we're going to be at what, like 50%? So 50% gross profit if we include Amazon's fees. You can do that as well. But if we are going to do this in a new launch, let's say I'm talking to somebody new, right? Hey, I'm going to launch this product. Do you think it's good? Okay, first off, we need to check, do you have good gross profit margin? So let's just do the revenue, or not the revenue, the sale price minus Amazon fees minus your cost of goods. That should be at least 40 or 50%. That's your gross profit right there. Bare minimum right there. Ideally, 50% more, because then you have more room. 10% makes a big difference. But if it's like a really good product, you really love it, and it kind of makes sense, okay, 40% is, you can do that. But 50% is what allows you to have a lot more room. So 50% gross profit, right? Right over here. That's after Amazon's fees, and then your cost of goods, right? And then you can also see that your advertising cost as well is also going to play a role. So how much you spend on advertising, in this case is 15%, is also going to play a role. If you don't control this, you will easily bleed through your budget and your actual profit margin if you don't control this. So 15% is pretty good. I would say that, keeping it around here when you're already established is good, but new launches, you're probably going to be at 30-40% for actual total advertising spend. And ideally, look, at the end of the day, your net bottom margin, if you have at least a 25% or 20%, those are good. Those are good for a Amazon business. So there's nothing wrong with that. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A quick breakdown of real numbers and what it takes to sell on Amazon and what your goal should be. To recap this video, basically, hey, your gross profit margin for the product should be at least 50%. Your bottom net profit margin for the product should be at least 20% once it's all said and done and once you're basically established. And it's very possible to have a net profit of 40% as well. Again, it all depends on how low you can get your cost of goods, how low you can get your advertising costs as well, and how much or how high of a sale price you can set your product to. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.